Salutations, utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Global here. This is one of my pieces, 24/8 mentality. Go check it out if you'd like. Tribute to all things Los Angeles. With that being said, I want to get right to it. On this wonderful Tuesday night, had the privilege of watching some great WNBA action, by the way. Uh, Breonna Stewart, Angel Reese, Camila Cardosa, big showdown, Sabrina Ionescu, uh, Carter. Uh, just unbelievable. Honestly, they're just what a privilege it was to witness tonight's games of basketball. Washington almost got their first W. But today is about the big news for the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, Finally nabbing their coach after terminating or relieving Darvin Ham of his duties this year. First and foremost, Darvin Ham's termination is no indictment on the quality of coach or person that he is. I want to be very clear. I don't think anybody could have done a better job working around this season and all the accolades that and milestones that LeBron had to work towards in this illustrious career that he has orchestrated on the court, off the court. Um, it was a tough situation, and to be honest with you, there was no perfect candidate when Darvin was hired. We can't lose sight of that. Frank Vogel took the team as far as he could go. Ultimately, I think Vogel is a great coach in his own right. You have to respect the man who got a team in a bubble to go get a ring, especially with the loss of Kobe. Um, Vogel had success even with the Indiana Pacers. He's a specific type of coach, and what LA became was beyond what I think he could reach, and the same thing happened in Phoenix, quite frankly. But these are very sophisticated situations when you're dealing with elite superstars. Whether it's KD, whether it's Giannis, it's delicate white glove treatment, quote unquote, and your time is spent in dog years when you're in those regimes. As the old adage goes, to whom much is given, much is taken, or is expected. And Darvin did a masterful job considering the circumstance and the roster that he was equipped with. I mean, like I said, when you have to play around the specific task of managing arguably the greatest player of all time, and then at the same time deal with injuries, there's a fine line in difference between excuses and reasons, and those are valid reasons. No one has any right to question his acumen or his intelligence. I can only imagine how many practice sessions they were able to conduct during the year, and I think for his own mental health, it was best to part ways. He's always been a workhorse type of guy, even in the league. From dating back to when he played, scrappy hustler, always brought great, phenomenal energy, which is a superpower in life. So I say all that just to preface before we go forward, giving Darvin his proper respect. And I hope he does land a job more regular, more within tradition. Hell, who knows? Maybe the Detroit Pistons give him a hire, because he's definitely worthy of coaching again and given a fair, clean slate. That is a very sophisticated, nuanced job, coaching one of the most complex and brilliant minds to ever grace the game. Now, with that being said, congratulations to Jj Redick. Definitely, there's pluses and minuses to this job, but he definitely is worthy of it. He's covered a lot of basketball. He's played a lot of basketball in this league. He's definitely experienced postseasons similar to like Steve Kerr, but even in a more impactful setting in terms of minutes wise. But ultimately, at the end of the day, more than qualified in my book, and he's actually exactly what the doctor ordered. First and foremost, I want to there was a special moment when JJ was on First Take, and he called out Doc Rivers, his former coach with Lob City, who everyone knows was a historical, monumental team that will forever be entrenched in the history of the game. They're living proof you don't have to win a ring in order to make your mark in history. And JJ called out Doc Rivers for some things, and ultimately it went viral, and he got 10 million plus impressions from that, according to JJ. And he was very irritated because JJ is a basketball purist, and he was explaining that he did a video breaking down the X's and O's of Zion Williamson and the Pelicans, who at the time was in first place, I believe, in the West. They had a full steam ahead of momentum, and the video only did 54K around approximately. And he talks about Doc Rivers, and it does 10 million. He expressed his frustration on First Take. Do fans want to be educated? And I don't know why that moment always was stamped in my memory bank, but it was something where I said, bookmark this. It's going to mean something down the line. This was at a crossroad, and for a guy like me, who also has a deep reverence for the game of basketball, it's beyond just being a fan. It was a matter of survival. If you knew the environment and the circumstance I had to endure and survive, basketball was my only outlet. Growing up, as a lot of my peers took different paths in life, this was the one thing that kept me sane and focused. And I always tell people, sports is a distraction. It does nothing for you. But for me, it saved my life. And I hope that I deliver and depict and cover the game in a way that it communicates clearly that was the case. I understand the path that I've taken personally. Not to digress from the point, I chose a reality that lyricists, conscious artists in rap music experience, compared to the ringtone artists who will get multiple times over way more fame and money. I know it's a slow grind, lonely route, but it's the route that I feel like best suits me for who I am. And JJ took that same approach. And after that viral moment where he was on First Take expressing his frustration, I don't know how much longer down the line, but LeBron pops up out of nowhere while Pat Bev and Paul George and all these different basketball athletes, ex-athletes, Mark Jackson, Cameron, and Mace, all these different personalities get in the sporting world. Melo with 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. All these different personalities, sports players, start their own podcast. And LeBron pops up out of nowhere and joins JJ. And nobody understood why LeBron would want to go start a podcast, let alone with Jj Redick. But I always remember that moment as one of the key components. And then I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, this was LeBron thanks to Rashad McCants, ex-NBA player of the Minnesota Timberwolves, draft pick of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He brought up a good point. LeBron is grooming JJ and giving people a hands-on audition. You speak to a lot of people these days, actors, inspiring actors. This is the methodology in which the modern day post-COVID auditions are conducted. From a phone, from a podcast, people just create their own auditions and send in their tape. That was the equivalent. LeBron made it abundantly clear. And let me tell you something. I've spoke on this topic a few times, but I've never articulated like this. LeBron might never be considered a top 10 Laker of all time, but make no mistake about it, the Lakers needed LeBron. LeBron never needed the Lakers. In fact, he went against Shaq's advice, an actual certified bona fide top 5 Laker of all time, even though he was only there for 8 years, who told him, just stay in Cleveland. Whatever you're doing in LA is not going to change people's opinion of you anyway. And he was right. But guess what? Let me be very clear. LA needed LeBron. LeBron did not need LA. And so, uh, kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry. But as LeBron goes to LA now, you have this as LeBron goes into this off season, whether he wants to acknowledge it or not, he's pulling the strings. And if you want me, it's going to have to be done under these conditions. And I think the sports agency, which is just amazing, honestly, him, Rich Paul, one of my favorite people. I read biographies for a living. Mike Tyson, Iceberg Slim, Phil Jackson. Rich Paul is definitely on my bucket list, along with the founder of Toyota, who I plan on trying to find a biography or an autobiography from, of people that, I think can make profound difference in the world through what they do. And Rich Paul clearly has a stronghold on certain franchises in the league. The Cavs, the Pelicans. These are teams that this administration can pull from, this regime known as LeBron's team. They can pull from anytime they need a specific asset. Jackson Hayes, ex-Pelican. We need AD. Let me get that. We need a little bit of leveraging. Let's go to the Cavs playoff game. So, when you look at what's going on right now, this team, this group that he has assembled, this militia, are now in a position where you want me, these are the things I need you to do. Pelicans gave him that first round pick. D'Lo's going to opt out of his contract. LeBron is going to opt out of his contract. The Lakers have the mid-level exception. It's these little moves that are being played behind the scenes. The first round pick allows them to get Bronny. The Lakers are able to get Bronny. Okay, cool. I also got Miami in my back pocket, so I took that $33 million, gave Vincent a contract. I thought he was going to do something. We'll figure out how to move that around. Stuff like that is what LeBron does and what he's doing. And they're definitely going to go get a third guy. They know they need athletes based on what we've witnessed, from the Derrick Jones to the Herb Jones to the Trey Murphys. You're seeing these long athletic wings in the West, and the Lakers know they got to get on board. PJ Washington, then even the big man, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford. You got to have some bricks in your back pocket, and you need to have some springs also. The Lakers got work to do. Prince might be a guy worthy of returning, but there's a lot of pieces that are going to have to be moved around. They have to get a certified third option who can get their own, who can fend for themselves and get their own 20 in their sleep. And there's some names that are possible potential players. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine in particular in Chicago. There's some people they can pull from. With that being said, Jj Redick is a phenomenal hire, because he's young, so you can build off him even long after LeBron is gone, which is where the Lakers made a mistake not giving Ty Lue that 5th year. This is their redemption opportunity. There's never been that perfect guy for LA, but JJ could possibly be that. They need someone who's vertically integrated in the culture. Jeannie Buss is not that. Pelinka is a Kobe guy, as that was his former client. They don't have anyone current right now. He would immediately catapult them to the front of the line. And no one deserves it more than him at this point. This was a GOAT move by LeBron, extending this opportunity to him, giving hope to people that real creators, real content creators, real people can get real opportunities. Nice people don't just finish last. Quality people do get moved to the front of the line. This was a great feel-good story. And where the Lakers are heading, the next big question is, who does the staff? How are they going to equip the staff? I definitely think Shane Battier needs to be on this roster. I definitely believe Jj Redick should look at Luke Walton, who played with LeBron in Cleveland, as an ex-Laker. It would be great. I don't know what he's doing right now, but getting him away, if he's at home with the loss of his pops, it would be a great time right now to get him on a bench. He has great experience with the Golden State Warriors. He formerly used to coach the Lakers. Jeannie holds him dear to her heart. maybe not the best head coach, but he would make a phenomenal assistant coach. Then you got Scott Skiles, who they were rumoring. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's not my guy. That's just what they're saying. I think Rondo would make a great assistant coach. Him and LeBron really did see eye to eye. Um, I know he's a strong personality, so that might be a bit of concern, but only they know chemistry wise how that works. Sam Cassell could end up going to that bench, but that's you definitely want to see a Shane Battier on that sideline in some capacity. James Posey, ideally, those are guys that I would be interested in seeing. So, moving forward, I just think that the Lakers made a great hire. The future's looking promising. Congrats, kudos to them. This was a great start to the offseason. They got the mid-level. I'm sure they're going to figure out what they're going to do with D'Lo. If that experiment seemed to have kind of run its course, they both might need to be relieved. It would be a good look for him to go somewhere like Orlando, where they're in need of a floor general, but still someone who can score off ball. He's a poor man's Trae Young in terms of alternative options. So, congrats to the Lakers. I approve of this move, not for whatever it's worth, and I'm sure there's more to come. I'll try to do better next time, Utopians. All the best. Global out.